Imagine you are sleeping in a tent in the middle of the woods. Outside, it's pitch black. There are no locked doors, no concrete walls, nothing but a layer of fabric so thin that a single sharp claw could tear it apart. You lie inside, eyes closed, body relaxed, reflexes slower than usual. If a bear, a leopard, a wolf, or a lion would wander by at that moment, theoretically, you seem like an incredibly easy target. You aren't running. You aren't fighting back immediately. You can't see it. You might even be snoring. So why is it that most of the time, the predators out there don't pounce? The answer isn't simply luck. In nature, luck isn't enough to protect a species for hundreds of thousands of years. If humans were truly an easy midnight snack, our ancestors would have been in deep trouble a long time ago. The truth is, in the eyes of many predators, humans don't look like normal prey. We are a danger signal, the predator's calculus. The first thing to understand is that predators don't just wander around killing everything in sight. Movies often make us think that lions, tigers, wolves, or bears are fearless attacking machines. But in reality, a predator must calculate heavily before making a move. A failed hunt can drain its energy. A deep wound can lead to infection. A broken leg can mean it can never hunt again. In the wild, there are no veterinarians on standby, no painkillers, no sick leave. A serious injury can mean starvation. Therefore, for a predator, the question isn't, can I kill this thing? The real question is it worth the risk? And humans make that calculus very uncomfortable. The evolutionary fear. We aren't the fastest species. We don't have claws. We lack large fangs. Looking purely at the individual, a sleeping person seems weak. But predators don't just see a single moment. They react to a very long history. Over thousands of generations, animals that were too bold with humans generally didn't meet a good end. Those that got too close to human camps might be chased off, stoned, speared, trapped, or hunted down in revenge. The more cautious ones survived and reproduced. Gradually, wariness of humans became hardwired into the behavior of many species. It's not that they sit there pondering human history, but embedded within their nervous systems is a very ancient signal. This thing is dangerous. Avoid it. A bizarre symphony of scents. Even when you are sleeping, you still carry the scent of a human. And for predators, scent is a massive world of information. They can recognize the smell of familiar prey, of their own kind, of a carcass, of food, of territory. They read the environment with their noses the way humans read text on a screen. But the scent of a modern camper is extremely bizarre. You smell like sweat, packaged food, soap and sunscreen, insect repellent, plastic, synthetic fabrics, shoes, backpacks, tents, metal, and smoke. To an animal, that is not the scent of a deer, rabbit, elk, or antelope. It is a strange, unclassifiable concoction that doesn't fit the profile of familiar prey. And in nature, the unfamiliar doesn't trigger recklessness. It triggers caution. A wolf knows how to hunt a deer because it understands how a deer runs. A lion knows how to ambush an antelope because it has seen an antelope react 1,000 times. But humans are different. A human might lie perfectly still, then suddenly leap up and shout. They might wield sharp objects. They might throw rocks. There might be many others nearby. They can create light, noise, and fire. For a predator seeking a clean, low-risk meal, that is simply too many variables. The power of fire and the pack. Then comes fire. This is perhaps one of the most important reasons why the night around a human camp is unlike anywhere else in the forest. Fire isn't just for warmth. It's not just for cooking. Fire is a powerful broadcast sent into the darkness. Humans are here. Most land animals have an instinctual drive to avoid fire and smoke. In nature, fire is usually associated with wildfires, heat, pain, danger, and death. An animal doesn't need to understand the chemistry of combustion. It just needs to know that getting too close is a bad idea. Human ancestors took advantage of this very early on. A small ring of fire doesn't turn a sleeping camp into an impenetrable fortress, but it changes the predator's psychology. It makes the area anomalous. It features flickering light, the smell of smoke, the crackle of burning wood, and the moving shadows of humans. For many species, all these signals say one thing: do not enter. A hungry animal might still observe from afar. It might circle the perimeter. It might be curious. But curiosity is different from an attack. And in the vast majority of cases, it chooses the easier path, walking away. Another reason is that humans rarely slept in total isolation throughout evolutionary history. Today, you might go camping alone, but for most of our past, humans lived in groups. We slept close together, ate together, kept watch for one another, and reacted collectively. To a predator, a solitary individual is much easier to handle than a group. An antelope separated from the herd is a good target. An injured deer walking alone is a good target. But a group of humans is entirely different. If one person wakes up and yells, the others wake up too. In just a few seconds, instead of a sleeping body, the predator might face multiple creatures standing upright, making noise, wielding sticks, rocks, and fire. It is no longer a meal. It is a chaotic situation, and predators hate chaos. They prefer quick, precise, low-risk ambushes. They don't like a fight with an unpredictable outcome. The sleeper's defense. Therefore, a human camp isn't just a few bodies lying still. It is a collective alarm system. Even human sleep isn't as helpless as we think. When we sleep, the brain doesn't shut down completely. It still filters sounds. It still reacts to anomalous signals. A snapping branch near the tent, heavy footsteps, strange breathing, a change in the smell of smoke, or the sensation of movement nearby can all pull a human out of sleep. Especially within a group, not everyone is in deep sleep at the same time. One person wakes up in the middle of the night. Another tosses and turns. Someone else hears a noise. That asynchrony creates a natural layer of security. Ancestors who slept too deeply and were too hard to wake in dangerous environments likely had lower chances of survival. Those who woke easily to unfamiliar sounds were able to react faster. Thus, waking up with a start in the middle of the night isn't always meaningless. It is the legacy of a world that once harbored many things in the dark worth fearing. When the rules break down. However, this does not mean humans are always safe. Predators can and do attack people. Such incidents are real, but they usually occur when normal conditions are broken. An injured animal unable to hunt its natural prey might become more desperate. An old animal with weak teeth or legs, no longer able to chase fast prey, might look for an easier target. An animal that has lost its habitat, is starving, or is pushed too close to human settlements might behave erratically. An animal that has been fed by humans repeatedly can gradually lose its fear. Once it starts associating humans with food, the danger escalates rapidly. That is why in national forests, nature reserves, or bear country, people are constantly reminded not to keep food in their tents, not to feed the wildlife, not to approach them for photos, and not to treat nature like an amusement park. The issue isn't that the animal is evil. The issue is that we have mixed up the signals. We've made it understand that humans are no longer something to avoid, but a source of food. When that boundary is broken, those ancient safety rules weaken. The invisible shield. So, ultimately, why do predators usually ignore sleeping humans? It's not because they don't know you're there. Chances are they know very well. They smell you. They hear you. They see the tent, the fire, the traces of humanity. but they also recognize something else. This is not familiar prey. This is something with a dangerous history, something with a strange smell, something that usually travels in packs, something that might wake up, scream, throw hard objects, wield fire, and make everything terribly unpredictable. In nature, an uncertain meal is rarely worth the risk of avoiding one. Therefore, when you lie in your tent and hear noises outside, your fear is not entirely irrational. It is an ancient instinct, passed down from nights when the darkness truly had teeth and claws. But on the other side, the animal out there has its own instincts too, and that instinct usually says, "Don't mess with humans." Because long before we built cities, before guns, before electric lights, and even before written language, humans were already a species that knew how to cooperate, use fire, craft tools, and retaliate. A sleeping person might look weak, but behind that person lies the entire survival history of a species that has taught so many other creatures a simple lesson. If you see a human, stay away. And that is why, on so many nights, deep in the forest, the thin fabric of your tent is not the only thing protecting you. What truly protects you is the smell of smoke, the sound of human voices, the evolutionary memory of predators, the strength of community, and the ancient reputation of humanity in the wild.